Details from last night's school committee meeting on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Thursday, June 19th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mannell. The school committee honors a long-time Barnstable Public School volunteer at its meeting last night. Teachers, students, and family gathered to recognize Fred Boma's 20 years of volunteer service with the Barnstable Math Gateway program. Educator Diane Manderville of Marston's Mills spoke about Boma's dedication to his students.
For 12 years, I had the opportunity to work with a volunteer at the former Barnstable Horseman Grade 5 School in Hyannis and later the former Barnstable Horseman Charter School in Marston's Mills. For 20 years until his recent retirement, this volunteer worked with approximately 100 to 150 children weekly, spending 2.5 days per week at the school to meet the needs of the children of Barnstable. He formed strong collaborative partnerships with the teachers, students, and many of their families. In more than 2,000 students over the course of 20 years, he fostered the development of critical thinking and problem solving. With his year-end talks in the classrooms on his experience growing up in Holland during the German occupation during World War II, he also fostered their global awareness. As a proud citizen of the town of Barnstable and a proud and grateful teacher of many of its students currently at Hyannis West, I was also proud and grateful to work alongside this tireless volunteer, Mr. Fred Boma.
Students also gathered to praise Boma for his work.
Thank you, Mr. Boma, for being my gateway teacher. You helped me in math helped me see math in a different perspective. Every Wednesday, I'd be so excited to go to school and learn from you. I know you had my sister a long time ago. Believe it or not, you had her 7 to 8 years ago. She was just as enthusiastic as I am now about math. Thank you for teaching. I am so glad you did.
Jacob Passokatuit, and I'm one of Mr. Bomer's former students, and he was one of the best teachers ever. He always taught math his way and the fun way, not the boring way. Not a whole lot of worksheets, just fun math games, and these are just some of his students.
Boma addressed the crowd and remembered his years of working with Barnstable students fondly.
The last time I received this kind of applause was from my teachers when I left high school. I have one problem, though. I have always had the problem of remember names. Numbers I can remember, but names I cannot. So my students know that during the sessions I would call them you with the red head and you with the blue shirt and so on and so on. They remember. In 1994, indeed, my wife and I moved to the Cape. And right away I started to work on my house, and my wife says, "You're going to stop this right now because in a few months you're all finished, and what are you going to do then? I want you to get out." Which I did, and I went to school to see if I could get a job. And I got a job volunteering, working with students, with Mrs. Vanderforst.
Fanny Van Horst.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, a long time ago. And I stayed with her for quite a while, but then I figured I'm better off doing, instead of helping children, doing the work for children that are gifted. And I've been doing that ever since. And indeed, the best week I ever had when I was doing 120 kids in 1 week. I think I had the qualifications because I went to Navy college. I have my third mate's ticket. I used to sail those big ocean liners where I met my wife. Oh, by the way, I think I'm the oldest one here, except for my wife. Now, I have to tell you that I'm kind of scared trying to go back to the chair. I don't know what I'm going to receive over there. But I can tell you that I had a ball. We never or very seldom did anything in the class that was done in the regular class. We did things differently, and with all kinds of games that we played. My only problem was that in January I got shingles, and I still got them. And I knew with the shingles I could not teach anymore, but I was planning to go only 20 years anyway, so I had to quit early. But there's nothing like seeing students 10 years later, 20 years later. It is fantastic. So I thank you people very, very much. It has been great. I loved every minute of it. And thank you again. Bye-bye.
Boma will be missed by many. What a wonderful tribute. Barnstable students will not be taking the MCAS next year. The school committee voted last night to implement the new park testing system next year. Superintendent of Schools Dr. Mary Schakowsky urged the school committee to support that move before the vote was taken.
So as we think about this decision moving forward, MCAS is no longer going to exist in its current form. The decision, and you'll see the split between MCAS and Park, giving our students the exposure to a year beyond the pilot where they will be competing with other students statewide. And those students having had a leg up on taking, if it's Park. And this is, I feel we're caught between a rock and a hard place here, and I understand that. But we're trying to make a decision based on what we think, would I love testing to go away? Absolutely. Do I think students are being over-tested? Absolutely. But do I see the work that's going on with teachers in developing curriculum units and aligning their standards to the Common Core standards? I see that happening. That's happening in our schools. So, the decision obviously is yours tonight to make as a school committee, and I will respect whatever decision you make. I don't want our students to be disadvantaged if in the fall of 2015 the Board of Education votes Park. I feel our students will have missed a year of exposure to a test that is harder than what they're feeling they're taking right now.
Ultimately, the school committee voted unanimously to approve implementing the new park testing system. Owners of the proposed Barnstable Brewing Company will need to address the school board during its meeting next month. The school board voted to appeal the ZBA's approval of that project because of concerns that the brewery would be too close to Hyannis West Elementary School. The school committee voted last night to invite the owners of the proposed brewery to their July meeting. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will have our weekly arts and culture segment featuring the Cotuit Center for the Arts. Plus, we'll talk with Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis about bats. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.